Hi everyone, welcome to the course. In the previous lecture, we learned about promise and promise chaining. What promises were doing is it makes our JavaScript asynchronous, right? But we saw that when we call too many thens, right, it becomes a promise chaining, and for that, it makes code complex and hard to understand. So here comes async await into the picture. What it does, it will not remove your promises concept, right? It will just help the promise concept to be easier for people to write and understand. So let's see with an example. Let's suppose that you went to a, or let's suppose you ordered some food, right? And what you are saying that if the food will arrive with the dot and catch, you are using that, and you are saying that if food will arrive, you will eat it. If it will fail to arrive, you won't eat it, right? Now what will happen is here you are waiting for the food, right? But with async await, you are directly waiting for the food without focusing on, without moving, with the help of to move to the next step, right? So let's see how async await works. uh, I just want to remove this from here. Rest is commented, it's fine. Now let's see how you will use async, right? So over here you have to create a function, and function food, right? And in this particular thing, what do we want is, I'll just say return food arrived, right? Now this is a normal function, but what do I want? I want to make it async. Async means now my function will always return promise. Okay, so this, with this keyword, will return a promise. Now let's call this function. Now what do I want is, if my promise is resolved, I would get my message. Okay, you will say console.log your message, right? So let's see what you will get. Food arrived. Okay, so async keyword makes your function, first of all, async. It will make the code synchronous but non-blocking. Non-blocking means that it will run independently. It will not block any of the operations. So async will always return a promise. Now you know. Await is the another keyword which always use inside your async function, right? That means await means you want to pause the execution of your method until and unless your promise gets resolved or rejected. Okay, so let's see the example of that also. I am just removing this, and let's use this particular example. Okay, this was our promise and all. Now let's create one more async function. Student. Okay, now what this will do, I am going to use try and catch in this because I have already created a method for task. So let's say in try, what you will say is that let result equals to await. Now await what? Complete task, and I will send, because it's accepting something, so I'll send true initially. Okay, and I will console my result, right? Now, what is happening over here is I am using a variable called result, in that what I am storing, whatever this particular function will get me. Okay. Now, I am saying this particular method to await. Await means pause the execution of further task until and unless my this promise gets resolved or rejected. Okay. So, use one more console. Now I can go to play. This is fine. Okay. If the task is completed, then only it will go to play. Otherwise, use catch, and catch will get your error. See, if error will come, you can't go to play. So now, finally, you can use that I will always go to doodle. Exit. Just a minute, let me change. Here I will say I will always do this task. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, now let's see what is happening in our console. Let's refresh this. Oh, we need to call this method. Nothing will happen because we did not call our function. Now let's see what it will get. Task is in progress. Task is completed. Now I can go to play. I will always do this task. Or you can see what happened is this is console. So what it should execute it earlier, but it waited. What await means stop the execution of the further function until and unless my promise gets resolved. So when it got resolved, right, task is in progress, it waited, the task got resolved, right, the promise got resolved, so task is completed, and if the task is completed, the student can go to play. So now I can play. Now finally, you know, it will always execute. It does not depend my promise is resolved or rejected. Let's suppose if what will happen if I'll say false. Again, task is in progress. Task is not completed. I can't go to play. I will always do this task. See, you saw both the scenarios. When the promise got rejected, the rejected message came, and this message returned to my complete task, and this error got catched by my catch method, and it got executed, and finally will always execute. So this was your example of async await. I hope you have understood the concept of async await well. Thank you so much.